he took one back, and just the crowd, you could just hear it building, and it just wells up, and I'm like, that's like when we played some of the bigger schools. And so that part of it, as a former player and a coach, you kind of get jealous of that, but it's just cool to see what this thing has turned into.
Feeling better than I ever been. Cairo in his bag, this beat is heaven sent. Back up in my element, new whip, trunk up in the front, I whip an elephant. It's all limo tint, that's how you move when you the president. You assin' off stream, treat him like my last name. Disrespecting, you just signed a check for a long day. Appetizer rappers, you will never be an entree. Really, you a condiment, and I hope y'all follow.
Hey, welcome to the Players Lounge, presented by the Rockin R Bar. It's your boy Josh Perkins. I'll be sitting with some current MSU players, some former MSU players. We're gonna chop it up a little bit. I wanna take a second to thank all our supporters out there. It's gonna be a great season. It's gonna be a great show. Let's go Cats. We sit with the best name in football, the tight ends, right? As they call it. As Chad likes would say, the wide end?
We could say wide.
Okay.
PC.
Respectfully, the wide end type deal. But I want to get content to you guys' shirts. You got the Wolf Packs. Is that a tight end thing that's amongst your group? And we talked a little bit about it, but
yeah, it was something that kind of we like adopted from when we were freshmen. The three seniors that were there before us, Wilson, Curtis, and Connor, they all had they'd break it down on Pack Woo. You bring it up, Pack Woo, and that's just kind of something that we adapted through the rest of our years and just kind of kept the tradition going throughout that. There's no real meaning behind it, but just something that we kind of just adopted when we were younger, freshmen.
And roll with it,
yeah.
Because how many people are in your rooms? Tight ends, it's a small group though, right?
Yeah, we got about 7 in there right now.
Yeah,
6 or 7.
It fluctuates. We had 9 at one point.
Oh, okay, I got up to 9.
Yeah, it was a lot at one point just because bodies and whatnot. But.
Yeah, we also got fullbacks too, so it's tight ends and fullbacks.
Yeah.
You guys are all in the same room together?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
RJ and then Jahari last year, just they're in the room with us. So it's kind of 2 positions in a way.
Okay, because you can switch between both of them within the play calls. That kind of helps the offense.
Yeah.
Derrick will go in there and play fullback.
What year did you play?
92 through 96.
So it was the same thing? Did you have to do some stuff at fullback too, or it was just
No, tackle.
Oh, okay. it was tight end and tackle.
No, remember we had Cormany, TT Ryan.
Oh yeah.
So we never went into the running back rooms.
Yeah.
And they never came in our room. We had some H-back, Harry played H-back, but we never mixed.
So how many people was basically in your rooms then back then?
3 or 4.
Really?
Yep.
Y'all had your own position coach and everything?
Yep. Drevno.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Coach
right.
Drevno. Yeah.
That's your recruiter.
So no, we didn't mix in between.
So do you see, what are some of the things, as you watch how they play now to where you play, is there some stuff you wish you had? Is there some stuff you see them implement? Because we use our tight end in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
It seems like here.
So these guys are on the move a lot more. There's a lot more motion. It seems like there's a lot more angle blocking. When we were there, it was just run, draw, punt. We're going to line up. We're going to try to smash mouth you. So we didn't have a lot of motion. And it's just you against the DN or, combo block to the linebacker. These guys seem like they're getting out, moving around a lot more, a lot of angle blocking. It's just a lot different scheme than what we were. I mean, we ran the ball a lot like you guys did. We had, Engel King, 1,000-yard rusher 2 years in a row, but just a different run scheme. These guys get on the edge more. It's not just try to 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Yeah. These guys are a little bit different. And you guys are still getting 7 yards in a cloud of dust, So it's pretty fun to watch, though.
Yeah, so you guys, because I know some of those bigger groups like the D-line, talking to D-line, the O-line, and then it's kind of like this healthy competition thing goes on. Is the same thing amongst you guys? Is it a bunch of competition in the room? Do you guys push each other through that competition? Or how is it for the tight ends, inside the actual room?
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely me and Treyton coming in together, we both looked at it as all right, we're it's going to be competition for sure, but we're also good friends, so we're going to just help each other be the best person and teammate you could be. And, I think I wouldn't be the player I am without this guy right here. So, I think being able to have that competition within practice, within the weight room, and just overall, just learning from him and just taking what he learned and, just carrying that over to my game. So it helped me a lot for sure.
So you pick up some of the things he does, some of his strength, and so you can bring that in, and the vice versa type thing.
And I think like we both came in the same time, in the same freshman class, and like we were both competitive in that sense, to where like we wanted to be the dudes, and then it ended up being where like we were both out there at the same time a lot, and we wanted to be able to be in like 12 personnel, and it just kind of turned out to where we were both capable of being good enough to be both out on the field.
Oh, you almost make it for the coaches undeniable to not play both of you
exactly.
guys.
Like we both were wanting to be the dude at tight end, to where we kind of forced them to put us out there both on the field just because we were so competitive. And you know, we like to change the way like tight ends played in a way, because we like to be able to do everything out there. Like you said, we run the ball a lot, and but we like to go out there and catch passes and go make plays like a receiver. So. And I think that's something that we both push each other on a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know, like, we talked to some of the older players during some of the dark ages, we call it, you know what I mean, before our program turned the corner. Do you see some things? Like, I know a player saying, like, he can almost see the love amongst the teammates and the culture. And he said, you know, that's the winning that brought that up, or was the coach that kind of brought that up? What, did you see some of the same things, too, that you wish you might have had or experienced, or maybe even implement it yourself?
Well, the crowds. I mean, the crowds are ridiculous, right?
They actually have a crowd.
I mean, so I've been watching Bobcat football. You know, I grew up here, so I've been watching over 40 years. I remember walking up to the stadium because I lived right down from Columbo's Pizza when I grew up.
Okay.
And so I'd walk up, and you know, the crowds are 2,000, 3,000, and then obviously it's growing. But I was on the field for kickoff return that what was his name? Anyways, when they had the new stadium, the end zone was done, and he took one back, and just the crowd, you could just hear it building, and it just wells up, and I'm like, that's like when we played some of the bigger schools. And so that part of it, as a former player and a coach, you kind of get jealous of that. But it's just cool to see what this thing has turned into, and what it's become. You know, because late 70s, 80s. I mean, I was telling Mike too. I was at the '84. Semifinal game against Rhode Island, sat in the end zone. It was packed.
You was there?
I was there, yeah. Sat in the end zone right where, what's his name, took it back, the interception. Can't remember his name either now. I'm blanking, too many concussions. Yeah. He took it back, and I was sitting right there, and they piled in the snowbank. Yeah. And then, 2 years ago, South Dakota State.
Oh, yeah.
And that thing was crazy.
Yeah, that gave me chills a little bit.
It does. I mean, it makes the hair stand up on my arm, but it's just you're kind of jealous of that. But as far as the brotherhood with their teammates, I mean, Scott, Harry, Wilkins, they call us the Three Amigos, all the tight ends, and so that stuff never dies. Like you never forget the blood, the sweat, the tears, all that stuff. That stuff goes on with everybody. But the crowd and what you guys got going now, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. And enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Soak it all in, man. It's awesome.
At that point. And like I said, I know you was, even for me, you coming in, I think you set the tone, just for, I don't know, just kind of how Bozeman is, feeling welcome, like, you one of the funniest guys I ever met, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't matter, like, I don't know, it didn't matter your color, who you was, or nothing like that. It was like super non-judgmental love, you know what I mean? I didn't even see that coming from a black man from like Compton, and it was like just real refreshing, just to see a white person just as they are, and not like a color thing. And I think I really appreciate you for that, and I never maybe got a chance to tell you that, but just coming in and feeling out of place, coming to Bozeman, I don't know, but it was just real dope that you guys took me in. And I think that's why I love college football so much. It's because of that type of stuff. You from Sunburst, Montana. You from Alaska. And y'all gonna be friends forever.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be at his wedding. He gonna be at your wedding. And all that never happened, you know what I'm saying, if it wasn't for football. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I want to take you guys to make sure you take that all in too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But going to that, so how was it? So how many people was in your town? Because everybody talk about the Sunburst, Montana. Is it like super small? Or?
Yeah, there's like 300 people. I graduated with 4 people in my class. Yeah.
It was like your classroom was like your high school then,
yeah,
right?
no, exactly.
Oh, okay, was that difficult though? Was it the transition, or was more exciting than anything?
Like, I feel like mostly when I came here, it was like just the guys in the locker room that you hung out with the most. And like school was like whatever, like you have big classrooms, but you kind of just like do your own thing. But we had like a really good group of seniors and like just older guys. Like when we came in, that like made us feel comfortable. Like I know Wilson was somebody like who I first came in and met him, and he was like very inviting and very welcoming, and just like everybody around there just makes you feel like more welcome to be there. And I don't know, that made the transition from being in a super small town a lot easier, because there was more guys on the team that I was dealing with than there was in my high school.
Right.
So
That's
like,
what I was saying. I was wondering how that transition
yeah, exactly.
was.
But like
but
it's hard to like
natural?
be close with everybody, but you're still brothers with everybody, especially. And so I definitely appreciate the older guys that made it easier for me for sure.
Okay.
So the Sunburst Co-op? Were you 6-man, 8-man?
We were 6-man.
6-man?
Yeah. The rules are a little bit different in 6-man football, but
So would you play like every position type deal? What goes on the 6-man football?
yeah, you kind of like move around. I'd play receiver, but the center can go out for a pass. It's 15.
So how's the lineup? It's a center.
That's really whatever you could do. You could
Okay.
have like the center just be like a receiver basically, and then you have 2 running backs be your blockers.
Sandlot.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's like backyard
Well, you
football.
just draw it up on the ground
Yeah,
real quick. You go
exactly.
there,
And then it's 15 yards for a first down.
Full field and everything, though.
No, it's 80 yards. It's the sidelines are shrinked in a little bit, and whoever like gets a ball directly snapped to them, they can't run. So you have to like have a pitch or something. It's very like backyard football style.
That
for
almost
sure.
sound kind of fun, though.
No,
It's
fun to
it's
watch.
a blast. Yeah,
Fun to
really?
watch, yeah.
There's high scoring games just because there's only 6 guys out there. I mean, there's so much field to play with. So
Because it's a 6-man camp going on right now,
Yeah,
so I think I might go watch
yeah,
that.
no,
This-
it's fun. It's a blast. But
What was the transition like from 6-man, 11-man?
I think like having a redshirt year is helpful, especially because you're like, well, I when I first got here, I had ACL surgery like right away, so it was like more of like a smooth transition into it where I wasn't just like thrown into the fire exactly. So I kind of got to like dip my toes in a little bit, get used to everything. But like at the end of the day, it's still football and whatnot. I mean, there's still football, and you know, you're just trying to do the same things with that. It's just more linemen and a couple more receivers, you know.
and a little bit wider field,
Yeah,
but you still got
exactly.
the same goal, what you're trying to get done.
Exactly, yeah.
So what's those fundamentals is there?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you out of Alaska, huh? So is it big town, small town? What?
A little medium size. Yeah, I'm from Chugiak, so it's about 10 to 20,000 people maybe in my little area. But it's right outside of Anchorage, it's a little north, but
Because Anchorage got the military base, right?
Yeah.
So about a lot of people there. There's some military people around your neighborhoods and stuff too. Or like who are the people mainly? Just the locals that been there?
yeah, no, so we get a lot of military kids. They usually go to other schools like Bartlett, Mario Chalmers went there.
Okay.
But no, so usually Bartlett gets some, and then there's also a base up in Fairbanks where some kids go mostly, and then, but yeah, no, it's, yeah, I guess you could say Chugiak, Eagle River is like mostly people who've been there for a while.
Pretty competitive football. Like how
In Eagle River, Chugiak area, not so much, but in Anchorage for sure. You know, we got a lot of kids. You know, we got a kid who just went to the Dolphins, and then, you know, we got some kids who are actually playing some big Division I ball right now. We got a kid at UW right now, and you know, obviously you look at our roster. You know, you got 2 Alaskans, me and Jackson Harmon. So
yeah.
you know,
we're around the same area too. Then
Yeah,
his dad's a coach or something, right?
Yeah, that's South. Yeah. I actually
You ever
played him
play
my
him?
freshman year. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, had to beat him real quick my senior year.
That would be my next question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let him know too.
Yeah, for sure, had to. Yeah.
So how many kids you graduated with? Not 4, right?
No, not
more
more.
than that.
About 200 or 300, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the highest
relatively
classification, or like how's it break down in Alaska? Is it like AA, A?
Oh, so they changed everything now, but when I was in high school, it was 4A.
So is that the highest?
Yeah, highest in Alaska.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
What was the lowest?
I think 1A, which is like Barrow, which is like the top of Alaska, and there's just like little villages everywhere. So
So every other state does it different, like Montana, AA, A, B, C.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like 5A, 6A,
Yeah.
all the
Definitely
A's.
different for
We're a little different up here.
It's slightly from the population. So how did Montana State get on your map? Like how did that pop up?
So we had this camp called the All Alaska Football Camp, and we get coaches that come up, and Coach BJ Robertson was up there.
BJ.
Yeah, he was up there my sophomore year, and I was not doing great in academics, and he seen me ball, and he was like, you know, you could play, and if you get your grades up, you could become a Cat. And after that, I just focused on school, kept my mind straight, and my senior year came here for a camp, and then caught the eye of Coach Armstrong, and then we were in contact for a little bit, and then ended up offering me, and I took it.
Dope. So you saw that opportunity, and that's what clicked that transition for you?
Yeah.
To start focus on stuff. I can really go somewhere with this, right? Okay.
Especially being from Alaska, you know, you don't really get that opportunity that much, so had to take it for sure.
Yeah. And you came out here for the camp and did pretty well, so that helped out your situation too then, huh? Would you go in some of the MSU camps? Are they doing those in the summer? There was nothing, huh?
No.
What about you? How was you recruited? Do you remember?
VHS tape.
You just sent it in?
No, I didn't. I mean, you know how it was back then. We didn't.
Because you started off as quarterback anyway, right?
Well, yeah, for a little while, and then I threw the ball to the other team too much, and they said you need to go to fat end. So no, it's just when Heist came here, because I was looking at. I traveled to Montana, went to Montana State. Was looking at a couple smaller schools, but it's it's just kind of word of mouth then.
Yeah.
Tape.
It was Heisel's first year when you got here?
Yeah, Heisel just had come in, so they got rid of. I can't even remember the coach before, Salmonson, and then Heist came in, and when he got here, he snagged Dawson Williams out of Missoula, and then he called me and said, "I don't want you to go over there," and so that's. I think Dick.
His offer?
Yeah, I think Dick Hart. Well, you know how he was.
Yeah.
Roll up a $1 bill, clean out his ear, and offer you a scholarship, right? This old school Hope knows that. I mean,
we had a super old school coach. I love him though personally. It was like kind of what I needed in life. You know, I came from a bunch of different slick talkers and hustlers. You know what I mean? So when I got here, he shot it to you straight. No.
Sometimes too straight.
Yeah. Especially that's what we really got it on social media. I know you wouldn't have a coaching job right now, but I needed that too in life. You know what I'm saying? At that moment, and he's always been on me about like, man, you wasting your opportunity. You could be a leader. I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? Not thinking about that at the time, but even now I think back about it. Like I talked to like Ike, LT, some guys that I play with, and I think one of my biggest hang-ups is that I felt I should have been a better leader. Mm-hmm. Even like for some of my younger guys that was coming up. I mean, I was cool as far as like the parties. Yeah. You know what I mean? Me and Chad anyway, we was salt and pepper. You know what I mean? We came to the keggers or whatever, but the other aspect of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, the same reason I could tell you certain classes to take that maybe you get an easier grade in, you know what I'm saying, or things like that. Maybe I should have said, guys, let's stick around this summer and work out. Let's just see what's going to happen, bro. Like, we got a pretty good this, we got a pretty good that. Like, just looking back now, I wish I was a better leader. I wish, it was a little bit of a better culture that we had here. Because we had some players, and we had some coaches, too. We had Coach McElwain, was at Florida, Mahalachek, was at Michigan. Drevno at USC. Like we had some real good coaches here, and I think we had some real good players, but it was just missing that one thing that I think you guys have, and that's what I'm saying. That was the one thing that Geddes had said was like, man, I just see you at D-line group, and you can almost tell that you guys care about each other. You know what I'm saying? About how you celebrate and this. He said he just saying that he just wish he had that a little bit more, or even was outgoing enough to try and help create it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you said some of the older guys brought you up, so now that's you guys' responsibility for some of the younger guys now, right? Yeah. So do you feel like that's any pressure to try and maintain that, or is it just kind of like breathing now?
I don't know. We talk about it because we're roommates, just about like being older now and how it like goes like that. And
both of you guys last year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh wow.
And just like we're just like thinking like, oh, we're the old guys now, like.
How did that happen?
Yeah, exactly. It just goes like that, and like we're just like we don't feel like we like look like those guys like when we were younger, I guess, and like just like
especially Curtis, but Curtis was like
exactly.
Like a 50-year-old or the 20-year-old body
for sure, he for sure
and
was.
Mindset.
But like just having that mindset of just trying to help people out the way that those guys did for you, and just like giving back in a way, just because they did so much for you, and then just trying to pay it forward to the guys behind you, really.
Because it's kind of like a player-run locker room anyway, right? So it's kind of really goes as you guys go.
Yeah, exactly.
How that goes. So you almost have to at this point.
And I think we have a lot of younger guys that are really good leaders too, who are very who have been there and have done that and are very vocal and work really hard too. So it's nice having those guys too.
For
Culture,
sure,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think when we first came in, we didn't really, see the big impact on coaches really. And what Coach Cho instilled into us was coaches come and go, but the players are the program. Yeah. And so I think having him build our culture and having us continue and adopting it, if you will, we just continue growing it. And I think it's our job to instill that into younger kids too. And honestly, I think our culture has gone onto younger kids even better than when we came in. Yeah. So I think our culture is just getting better and better every year.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of leading to some of the victories and stuff like that too. So you guys was in the middle of that transition. I can almost answer this, but what's some of the difference between having a coach like Cho and Vegan? I know someone's mentioned some stuff just like little things like reps, Vegan, certain things that's great about Cho and certain things that's why they're different. But one thing that they liked about Vegan was the amount of reps that they get, because they felt because you probably was with the Cho versus the Vegan. Does you feel like the same thing, like those extra reps does help you prepare more? And kind of sitting around, I think Nolan was saying his whole freshman year, he maybe got 8 snaps. You know what I'm saying? Well, now freshmen are getting 40, 50 snaps of practice.
The double reps, it's just everybody's getting that playing time. Whereas when we were freshmen, it was you just kind of stand on the sideline, you'd have the ones kind of go, twos kind of go. All the freshman redshirt guys, you could just watch and do scout periods and whatnot. But with the double repping, everybody's getting reps. Everybody's going against good people, and so they're just getting more live reps, and they're not just standing there watching, they're physically doing it. I feel that's the best way to learn how to play football is to go out there and get the real live experience, because there's no other way you can replicate the game in that sense. So I think that's really big.
Yeah. So even so during the season, okay, that's just during camp then. So during the season, then the young guys become the scouts, right? Mm-hmm. But y'all still, when it's time to scrimmage, y'all break into 2 and then do live reps there. Yeah. But then the younger guys come play the scout role. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, we have it where we split up, where we're double repping in a sense, and then we'll have a couple periods where it's more ones on 1 and 2s on 1 and 2s in a sort. But it's mostly the double repping, and those guys then they can work on what they need to work on, and they can focus on something that they think they need to work on for sure. But yeah, and then the difference between Cho and Vegan, they're both, I think, they do really good things. Cho was more the culture type. He would drive culture, and he was really personal, and it was all about just being a good person, and just really culture driven. Where I feel Vegan, he's good at that as well, but he's really good at the X and O's of football as well. Mm-hmm. And they just do their own things very well.
Yeah, he definitely knows who the right dudes to bring in for sure. Yeah. And I think that another coach that we have is Coach Sean Herron, who actually instills a lot of culture in us and a lot of leadership.
That's the strength conditioning coach, right?
Yeah.
He was there when we were freshmen with Dane, when they came in and were working with us during our strength and training. So he's been there since we were been there, and then they left for a little bit, but now that he's back, he's a really good coach, and we're fortunate to have him as our strength coach for sure.
I know Daniel Hardy, whenever I talk to him, he always talk about he wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for him. Right?
No, totally. And I feel your strength coach is almost as just as important as your head coach in a way, because you hang out with your strength coach a lot more than your head coach, I'd say.
Especially in the summer, right?
Exactly. The summer, we see Sean every day for 2-3 hours a day, where we maybe see Vegan every now and again, just because he has to go do his thing. Yeah. But and they really instill the culture as well, so that's a big thing.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about that.
Exactly.
How much time do you do spend your strength trainer?
Yeah, exactly.
So you actually should spend a lot of time at that. I think some people even forget about that, even in the hiring process. That's probably one of your biggest hires then.
For sure.
Probably nowadays anyway, having that right person, that can really determine your program.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, especially these guys, right? They got their whole team stays. So he's running the whole team, right? A lot different when we played. A lot of guys went home, but they got the whole team there. I was talking to these guys earlier about that. That's crazy. You know, and so he's running all those guys and seeing them every day. Whereas the position coach was your Coach Walker, right?
Yeah, Coach Walker.
You probably don't see him every day in the summer. You might, maybe, but
Yeah.
what's his name? Sean is there every day.
Yeah, exactly. Sean's really like the head coach of like the training and physical part, and then like Vegan, I would say, is like the head of like football in a sense, if that makes sense. Kind of
like the
broke it in
departments
two in
within
a way.
the corporation type
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
No, they're both very important roles for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about, I always ask this question, one of my favorite questions to ask, just because it's always different answers. So when you made the jump from, I'm going to ask all three of you guys this, like from high school to college, what was harder? Was it the physical aspect, like like physical meaning like how big strong guys are, how fast they are, how shit just moving, or was it like that playbook where, you know what I mean, like for me, all I did was run man in high school. Like I didn't have to learn nothing. Like check what's green? Like I got him, right?
Yeah.
Like what's going on type thing. So how was it for you guys? Which one was harder, I guess?
For me, you know, I thought I had the talent to do what like certain things, but you know, obviously getting bigger and stronger was one of the main things. But
When did you come in at and what you at right now?
I came in at like 245, but a gross 245, and then it was just chunky. But
Because your jawline, I didn't remember you having a jawline.
Exactly, yeah.
Pretty sexy right now. That jawline came in tight, man.
Yeah, for sure. Then,
Chiseled, is that
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then no, I'm weighing about the same now. Lost some fat, but no,
Stronger, obviously, right?
Yeah, exactly. But no, footwork for sure helped me definitely. You know, just getting the fundamentals down, but also, yeah, getting in the playbook. It's, you know, it was tough for me freshman year. You know, I just coming in. You know, as a freshman, you know, you don't really know anything. You know, you're trying to get used to everything. You're getting used to not being at home and just being away from your family. You know, it's tough for sure. And you know, not many people really talk about that, which it sucks.
That homesickness part.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's hard for us to talk about it too, because we're supposed to be gladiators, like we not humans,
Exactly.
right? But that is one point.
Yeah, and then so, you know, you're just trying to fight, and you know, obviously sometimes, you know, you don't want to do it, but you got to.
Got you. What about you? Was it the playbook? Was it you got here like, I mean, you know, like we talking about from 6-man, 11-man. That's probably a double jump for you, right?
The playbook was definitely, obviously, was a lot bigger than 6-man. 6-man, it was like, go spread out and just go run around, get open. Really.
Somebody get open, yeah.
Think about like route trees and then blocking schemes.
Yeah.
Where in 6-man route tree?
Blocking
Just go
scheme.
get
I got the
open.
Dollar Tree. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was good though, and then obviously the physical aspect, because I came in at like 210. I like playing basketball, so I was light, and then now I'm around like 248, around there. So just like and the speed of everybody, just being so big and being able to move so fast, because like obviously I was bigger, but I wasn't able to like be strong enough to compete like well against the older guys. Like when you're young, and just getting used to the speed of the game is kind of the big thing, I think, just because obviously 6-man's not the speediest sport or way of football, but just getting used to the speed of college and everything. And,
How about pad level?
yeah, pad level, obviously being taller guys, that's one of the big things I hype on.
Because like 6-man with athletic ability like him, probably not facing a ton of good people. You got to get your pad level down to compete against these big boys.
Yeah.
They'll get underneath.
Yep, get underneath you, and then you're going for a ride.
Yeah.
Ice skates.
Yeah. And like the big thing is like, I guess in college, like everybody's bigger and stronger, and like they've all been training. And like footwork was like a really big thing that like separates that difference, because everybody trains, everybody works out, but like the technical aspect of everything and just being like uniform with everything, because we had Coach Potter. He was our tight end coach for a couple years there.
Right?
Yeah, he went to Boise, but he was in the league for a couple of years, and he played at Boise, and he really got us like technically sound and was like footwork and being able to block. And then Coach Walker, he's been able to help us like in the pass game and be more athletic, and so those two together have like really helped us like just shape our game and mold it.
So it's like a total package.
Exactly, yeah.
Guys are.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
pretty dope then.
That's what I like about the reps too. You guys talking about the double reps. It's so important for footwork,
Yeah.
especially in the blocking side of
Yeah.
things. Well, also for running routes too, but that's huge when you get a lot of extra reps.
Yeah, that's kind of the time you get the live looks at blocking. That's kind of what it's big for sure.
Yeah.
So what was the view? Was it the playbook? Was it the physical side?
Well, so remember, I'm quarterback. So I didn't know what I was going to play. I came out and they're like, you're going to play quarterback, tight end, or safety. And I'm like, so they stuck me at quarterback, and then I started. And the playbook was,
Wait, you started as a true
yes.
freshman? I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, so I was number 2 coming out of fall camp, and then Mark Fisher got hurt against Sac State, so I went in at halftime and played, and then started the next 10 games.
How's that half, though, that first half? Was you,
Well,
eyes wide? Was you like,
eyes wide, maybe some other stuff going on, maybe some crying.
okay.
No, brown streaks. I was going to say that. I didn't know if I could say that, but we played Sac State at their stadium, and they had one dude, John Kirksky, I remember his name, he's a D tackle, 6'6", 330, and he hit me one play, and I landed on the long jump pit with plywood, and it knocked me out. And Hanson, I come back to huddle, he's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "I'm looking for the dude who hit me." And I don't remember that.
We thought you did a bar fight.
Oh yeah, I was like, no. So the playbook was brutal, and obviously technique was something. But then going from quarterback to tight end, the footwork, because I'd never really had blocked.
Because what did you play in high school?
I played quarterback in high school and then free safety. So I had never been on the line, but I enjoyed it. The blocking stuff was awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think that...
this is the fight of it, of every
Well, the fight
down.
and like the footwork part, just working on footwork constantly and getting it down and then getting it down against resistance, because you can work on footwork all day long, but once you put somebody in front of you, then you start to lose your technique. So getting in repetition with out on air and then with against resistance, that was the biggest thing for me. And then obviously putting on weight, I had no problem putting on weight. I was 270 my senior year. And I remember in between my freshman and sophomore year, Heisel came in because I was 195 in high school. And then after my freshman year of college, I was at 240, and Heisel came in and said, "If you don't drop 15 pounds, you're not playing quarterback." Because I was just, I love to eat, like to drink, like to lift, and my butt got pretty big. And he's like, "You better drop some weight, dude."
Yeah. That's why you said you played safety. I got to you by the time you passed that 240. I think by the time I got here or whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't even.
I was at tight end when you got here.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
Safety.
You were safety?
Yeah, safety and corner. In between there and there. But I prefer the corner way more because you didn't have to know everything. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. I was like my junior year. They switched me over to safety, and I never really paid attention to the playbook at all. Like when I moved over to safety, it was kind of tough for me because I had to be so much more responsible for everybody and all that type stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I was on that guy to make sure everybody's on the same page. As soon as you start motioning, check green. We all go to cover 2. I'm not even trying to overthink this at all. You know what I'm saying? They're like, "No, you should." And then people get mad because like the linebackers, I'll call off blitz and stuff like that. They like looking back like, I ain't calling nothing else but green. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. We lining up. But But like I said, it was a lot different back then too, and we probably wouldn't hold each other as accountable as we probably should have. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting in that work. Even when I talk to some of the guys, like when you guys went to Frisco, it was able to bring back a bunch of different people together, and I think that's what another realization for me was like. I really did have a real good time and have some pretty dope relationships and stuff like that. And started reaching out to people more because even we live in the same town, and I probably haven't talked to them in like 2-3 years. And I don't talk to them all the time, but we still see each other, and cause that's what we laugh about. Like, man, we used to throw all the parties. Now we got this damn recital. We was at like one of our kids like dance recitals or something, and we was at a ballet thing. We're like, what happened to us? You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, you guys talk about it going fast. Just wait.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then your kids are through high school, and you're like,
you're
50 years old, and you're like, what?
Yeah. So actually, what do you have? So like I said, say senior year. What would you tell them right now, going into their senior year?
Soak it all in, man. Cherish it, and then don't lose track. Don't lose track of your buddies. Yeah. Like so, Scott Harry. He's a Homer, Alaska guy. He played tight end here. Played basketball. So Scott and Aaron Wilkins and Pepper and I, every year we go to one of these guys' games.
Oh, really?
As a group, and try to get everybody together and try to make it every year. Or else we'll go to like when Amato was playing for the Titans, we went and watched Tennessee, Florida, and then watched the Titans play the Steelers the next day. So trying to get together because you're all going to go separate ways. You're going to have families. You're going to have kids. You're going to have a wife that tells you can't go hang out because you got to take care of some stuff, which rightfully so, right? Yeah. But don't lose track of each other. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's a very good message. Because like I said, you'll have something to lean on, and y'all went through so much stuff together You know, you can relate to certain things, help your decision making. So let's get into that rivalry game, that cat grizz. So was that always part of your life? Was it like I was talking to that Orc kid, you know what I mean? He's like a third generation Grizz kid, so it was tough for him to come over to the cat side. Was you always a cat? What was your side growing up?
Being up in Sunburst, it was like so far away from Bozeman, and my family wasn't like really too big into like college sports and whatnot. And so I honestly didn't ever I never watched a Cat Grizz game. I didn't.
Because you was a basketball player anyway.
Yeah, I liked playing basketball, and so I honestly didn't really know the significance of it. Like we'd always have like the can the food or whatever, like where you have to put in for whatever team and whatnot. But besides that, that was really the only thing that I ever knew about it.
So how was your first experience of it, you know, when you got here?
Yeah, in 17, when I came here on my first official visit, first ever college game, and it was Cat Grizz when we won here. And that was when I definitely found out the significance and the importance of how big that game is, because that stadium was rocking, and from there on it was I want to play in this game. So that was kind of my growing up of it and my first experience. And
so you came on a recruit. Yeah, that's a great trip to come on right there. Totally. What about you?
Yeah, so we had a coach up in Chugiak, Coach Tom Huffer. He's actually in the Grizz Hall of Fame because he played quarterback a while ago. And then we had a running back, Johanse Humphrey, who went to the Grizz too.
Yeah, we played against him.
Yeah, and then
he's Alaska?
He went to Chugiak, same high school.
He's your brother though, right?
Yeah, and then so they were trying to get me to go to the Grizz, and then I actually ended up going to camp there. And hey, good for me though. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go over there.
Yeah, good for us.
Yeah, and then, I just had a little knowledge, not too much, but in 18 when we went over there to play the Miracle in Missoula, just watching and being able to experience it and see everybody wearing that ugly maroon color, just opened my eyes to something crazy, and I will never forget that game. And the whole Cat Grizz environment is just, there's nothing like it. And so I'll for sure carry that the rest of my life.
No, that's dope. What about you?
Oh man, I watched a lot of Cat Grizz games. It's intense, super intense, and it's funny. I got a bunch of buddies that played for the Grizz. We still talk. My kids play sports with them. I think it's a different perspective when you're a player. You kind of there's a respect, even though you hate them, right?
Right. Okay. Amongst opponents.
Yeah, amongst the guys you play against. I mean, because some of the guys that you played against in high school and still talk. But yeah, it's intense, and going over there, my freshman year, quarterback over there. I just remember the fans, brutal. But we also have brutal fans on our side too. I would not want to have to sit on the visiting team sideline to hear some of our buddies yelling at those guys. Right. Some of it's probably a little inappropriate, but it's intense, and I think some people lose it a little bit at times. But it's Cat Grizz, and it's awesome.
No, it is something special.
It's awesome for the state.
You almost got to remember it sometimes, just so we're grateful to have the opportunity and playing something that kind of raises your hair in the back of your neck type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even like I said, that's why College Game Day was here, right? It's that same reason. There must be something special about it for them to come down here in the middle of what was 10 degrees or something out here that day. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, almost died, man.
Yeah, he was out there all buttoned up.
You almost didn't make it out?
He was cold.
Good thing you put on that cat head.
I think they had some little heaters in there for him too, didn't they?
Man, he's shaking. He's cold. He's shaking because he's old. That part. All right. So before we go, give me a couple of people that was maybe important to you to get to where you are here today. Was it anybody? Was it a coach? Was it a sibling? Was it a parent? Who you feel?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably too many people that you could say that have helped you get to where you're at in your life and get to this journey, but. Some people that stuck out were my basketball coach, Nate Ashram. He was one of the he'd always be in the gym helping me out, just be a athletic build in a way, and just help me become kind of who I am physically. And then my dad, I lived with him ever since. It was just kind of me and him hanging out, and he was somebody that I've always looked up to because he took care of me, and like provided for me and was always there for me. And then my last one would be my grandma, just because she battled through cancer for a long time, and you know, she fought that, and so that was just something that always kept me going, and just always kept her in my mind for sure. But yeah, those are kind of like those main people. Too many people to say.
Right, to lock in,
sure.
but those will pop up
Yeah.
right now. What about you, Alaskan Assassin?
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. There's too many people to even really acknowledge, but you know, obviously you got to start with the parents. You know, without them, you know, that support is super heavily, you know, just got to look at them and just be like, you're just super grateful for them, obviously, for everything that they've done. But you know, my brother, my sisters, you know, they were always pushing me ever since I was young. I was always trying to be better than them, and you know, always just competing against them. So, you know, definitely them. You know, it's been a journey. You know, ever since 2005 when I started this football thing, and it's been a long ride, and just got to appreciate it. So.
Thank you. How I get a Wolfpack shirt? Like, at least let me get my boy Chad. We got what you like, 2X now?
We can call it half pack. Okay. I don't know if we make the full wolf pack.
No, I'll put up T-Walks and get one.
Yeah. Well, thanks you guys for coming down, sitting with us a little bit, and getting us to know you a little bit better. You know, great success this year. What we doing? Big Sky? We doing Natty? What we going for this year? Both of those, just check, and go from there. Well, I'll meet you guys in Frisco then.
I'll be there too.
You gonna be there?
Yep.
I'll meet you at the bar.
Yeah.
We just getting started like the kickoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch the lift off.